In our society, there are social and cultural taboos and ideas that are so controversial, people work to silence you, regardless of whether or not those taboos and ideas are true. These truths are about the nature of race and gender. These truths are about the necessary function of religious substructures. These truths are about the significant moral superiority of our world versus, for example, the Islamic world. These truths are about the issues. These are issues of our time. And it's about time we stopped the censorship and spoke truth to power. So, in honor of the 2017 Toronto Action Forum regarding free speech and fiscal policy, let's tell some truth. Let's go through some of the more controversial ideas, shall we? Keep in mind that many of these ideas will get you fired, arrested, or vandalized if you spoke out about it, even if these ideas are supported by evidence, and even if these ideas are true. I'm Jay Feza from the Rebel.media, and let's get started. Number 1, biological sex does exist. It's called males and females. Number 2, there are only 2 genders, not 3, not infinity, just 2. Number 3, transgenderism is a mental illness. Transgender activists can lobby government. Academia can self-censor themselves. They can change the definition of disorder to be more politically correct. It doesn't change the fact that people who legitimately think they are something that they're not are sick. If I thought I was white, people would kindly ask, what the fuck is wrong with you? Number 4, there are measurable differences in the general intelligence of people of different genders, races, ethnicities, regions, even income. In other words, humans are not intellectually equal. We are not all born with a blank slate. That being said, there are tremendous overlaps in the intelligence of individuals in these said groups. Plus, over time, as generations pass, a group's intelligence does and can improve. Number 5, women and visible minority groups are not institutionally oppressed in any single country in the Western world. You're not victims of an unjust, racist, or sexist system, nor is it better to live in any other place on earth. The West has the least racist and the least sexist countries. The countries with the most socially regressive ideologies are found in Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. In other words, white majority countries tend to be the most tolerant and accepting. Number 6, the gender pay gap is a myth. Women aren't paid less than men. They earn less because they choose to either raise their families or go into lower paying jobs, and there's nothing wrong with that. Number 7, whereas communism and socialism has driven countries into war, totalitarianism, and poverty, free market capitalism has and always will be the best method of generating wealth and alleviating global poverty. Until we have mass automation or an unlimited energy resource, free market capitalism is here to stay. Humanity has and always will benefit from capitalism. Number 8, marriage and the nuclear family is the best method for optimizing a child's development and even human happiness. Men who are married live longer and are much happier. Stay-at-home mothers report being the happiest. They have the happiest profession among all women. Married couples have higher income, for God's sake. You get more money if you're married, according to the statistics. Also, the links that Flawless has on things like crime, poverty, homelessness, and low achievement is very clear. If you're a child who's raised by a single mother, you're more likely to have low achievement. Children need both parents. Number 9, the human fetus and embryo is an individual human being, biologically speaking. It's not simply a clump of cells. It's not equivalent or even similar to a human tumor. They have their own genetic coding, metabolism, reproduction, so cellular division, and individual growth and development. An unborn human has its arms and legs by the 8th week. They also have a nervous system and can start to feel pain at around 16 weeks. This isn't a moral argument for abortion, by the way. That's a whole nother conversation. However, if you're going to argue for or against abortion, you need to understand that an unborn is their own individual human life. The people who argue that they're not human or not individual beings are scientifically illiterate. And finally, number 10. In all likelihood, you or I would have been one of the guards in a Nazi or Soviet concentration camp. We would have valued our own comfort and our own way of life over the truth, over standing up for what's right. And that's important to understand when we're dealing with activists who are against the freedom of speech and expression. That's important to understand when we're dealing with people who want to censor ideas and censor the truth. We, the people who stand up for free speech and free expression, for everyone and every idea, have our work cut out for ourselves. So let's get to work. I'm Jay Feza from the Rebel.media. If you like engaging in ideas in a quest for the truth, please like and subscribe to the Rebel.media.